we started this adventure, no one thought this was possible. The political insiders said we had no chance. We started at 0, but who in here actually had faith we could get the job done and get in the runoff? You did!
It was a tight 1-2 finish in the Republican primary for governor this week. Attorney General Gentner Drummond finishing just about 1,000 votes ahead of former State Senator Mike Mazzei, both now moving on to a head-to-head matchup for the nomination in August. I just want to say really quick, I've been in contact with the Drummond campaign. We're looking forward to having him on this program soon. But we're also happy to be joined this week by Mike Mazzei, former State Senator. Thanks so much for being here, and congratulations on making the runoff.
Thanks, Evan. Good to be here.
You indicated that, you had to come a long way in this campaign to get where you are right now. Are you surprised at all?
We had a plan, and I'm a certified financial planner, so I know a little bit about building a plan, implementing it, and making great progress. But I was very fortunate to have, a great team to get all across the state and share our message that we've built a concrete plan to make Oklahoma a no-income tax state and abolish property taxes for seniors and veterans, and that's appealing to thousands of Republican voters.
Well, apparently it's appealing as well to the President of the United States. Donald Trump, of course, endorsed you, but I think even before that happened, there was already momentum. We saw it in the polls. Mm-hmm. You were doing well at that time. So going forward, there's 50% of the primary vote that is now up for grabs. Both you and the Attorney General both basically got 25% of the vote. Right. So what's the key to grabbing that other 50%, or at least the majority of it, if you want this nomination?
Well, you mentioned the president. Donald Trump won Oklahoma 3 times in a row, all 77 counties. Right. And that's a great indicator that the people of Oklahoma believe in the Trump agenda. And the Trump agenda and the Mazzei plan align really well, Evan, in terms of values and goals. And so we're going to keep talking about our plan, which is to create more jobs and more growth opportunity for the next generation, which is why we have to change taxes and overhaul the tax code, but also launch a statewide literacy program so we get our kids reading at grade level, and we deal with this mess of Chinese communists and Mexican cartels running roughshod all over the state of Oklahoma.
You're not a fan of the foreign ownership of land in Oklahoma. You say that's one of your first day one priorities.
Day one executive orders.
Factoring in the Attorney General, Gentner Drummond in here, both of you have already taken some shots at each other. We saw it during the primary. We saw it on Tuesday night, in fact. Both of you had things to say. You said Gentner Drummond should have been running in the Democratic primary, I noticed. What do you think is your biggest advantage over Drummond in this runoff?
Well, one of the big differences, of course, is I've fortunately been endorsed by President Donald Trump to be Oklahoma's next governor because he believes in our agenda, and he doesn't believe in a lot of what Gentner Drummond stands for. It's public knowledge that Gentner told or wrote an email to my Congressman Kevin Hern, "No, I'm not going to meet with you. You're too strong of a supporter of President Trump." He publicly stated he has no opinion on the bogus impeachment of President Donald Trump. On policy grounds, as we've discussed, I have a concrete plan to eliminate the state income tax and abolish property taxes for seniors and veterans. Mr. Drummond says that's wishful thinking, and he wants to start more government programs and increase spending. That sounds a lot like a Democrat to me.
He accuses you of being a candidate of convenience. He says that you have changed on certain issues and topics, particularly around, and I know this is going to come up in this runoff, the aluminum smelter plan in Enola, which is a massive deal. This is a massive infrastructure project. You definitely were skeptical. You spoke skeptically about this project, and then right around the time of the Trump endorsement, you definitely came out in support of this. Why is the aluminum smelter project a good thing for Oklahoma?
Well, I wasn't even in the legislature when the Senate, House, and the governor all signed off on the aluminum plant. I did have some questions about the incentive package, but never had any questions about the project itself. And President Trump and I personally talked about the aluminum plant and its importance for national security purposes and economic growth purposes from a creation of thousands and thousands of jobs perspective. The administration shared with me that the total economic output of the ecosystem that we'll build around that is $25 billion. That's more than 10% of our economy. And then on the national security front, I grew up in a military family. My dad's a Vietnam veteran.
Right.
My brother served in Bosnia. Right now, my nephew, Evan, is a Black Hawk helicopter pilot.
Really?
Those helicopters need aluminum. Our fighter jets need aluminum, but China controls the majority of aluminum in the country, and the Trump administration shared with me that we haven't had an aluminum plant in 50 years, and we need to be producing our own aluminum.
So what you're talking about, having these conversations with the administration, the Drummond campaign might take that and say, you see, they talked about it, and the president got him to change his mind right around the time. Do you see it that way for anybody who might be hearing that and going in that direction?
That's a little bizarre because I have always said I will support President Donald Trump. I did a lot of campaigning for him in 2024, raised a bunch of money.
Right.
My relationship with some of the folks close to the president goes back a ways.
Right.
And having always said I will support President Trump's agenda, well, once I learned some details, it was obvious that this is important for Oklahoma, it's important for our nation.
I just got 10 seconds with you right now. Mike Mazzei wins in August if what happens?
We then start hard and fast to run all the way to the finish line of November 3rd and win the general election.
What's the deciding factor in this race against Gintner Drummond?
Well, I have a plan. Mr. Drummond has more government and higher taxes. We want to abolish property taxes for seniors and veterans and make Oklahoma no income tax state, which is the key to getting economic growth like the state of Tennessee, which had 58% more growth than us over a 10-year period.
Mike Mazzei, you're going to be seeing a lot of this gentleman here. Again, congrats on making the runoff. Thanks so much for being here on Oklahoma Chronicle.